Hey guys, it's Miss Caceres again. All right, so today we will begin as we do every class. Make sure you have your textbook, notebook, and or binder that you use for my English class. Remember, we always begin with our heading, name, date, grade, and section, followed by the title or topic for the day. We will also have our objective and our I can statement as usual. Our objective for today is recognize the use and purpose of foreshadowing. And our I can statement is I can understand the purpose of foreshadowing. Remember, if you guys need more time, you just pause the video and take the time you need, or you can always come back to my YouTube channel. Now, for this week, we are going to be reading The Monkey's Paw. It's a short story written by W.W. Jacobs, and the following week we'll be seeing the film clip and making a comparison between a written and a visual aid. Our essential question remains the same for Unit 2 this week. Why do we sometimes like to feel frightened? Yeah, I don't think I fall into that category. Comparing versions, where, like I said, once we've read the written work, we'll watch the visual aid or the film and make a comparison between the two. The Monkey's Paw. For our quick start activity, remember you do this in your notebook or your binder. You just put the subheading quick start along with the page number so you know where this answer belongs. The story you will read is about a monkey's paw that grants wishes. Write a brief paragraph about something you might want to change and describe the possible effects of having your wish granted. Now, when we say a paragraph, I need a minimum of somewhere between 5 to 6 lines and a maximum of 7 to 8 lines. So really think about this, guys. Think about something you would want to change and what effects that would have on granting that wish. Not just positive effects, but maybe also negative effects. Because, you know, as we've talked about before, by changing the present or your possible future, you will change many different things. You know, things would not be the same. There are so many different things that could change based on what we know as the butterfly effect. If you guys don't remember what that is, I would like you guys to investigate it because the butterfly effect is a very interesting theory. All right, so the next thing after the quick start would be analyze the theme. One reason people read literature is to learn how to avoid or understand common problems. Literature conveys lessons through themes, the messages about life or human nature that writers share with readers. In some stories, the theme is explicit, which means that it's stated directly in the text and you see it. In most cases, the theme is inexplicit or not stated directly. This is where you guys, as readers, have to infer and make an educated guess about what the theme is based on clues that you found in the text. Clues in the text can include the ways the characters interact with each other. For instance, who treats whom lovingly? That means like who treats each other really well. And clues can also include the events in the text. Do the events benefit the characters or harm them? Do the characters do anything to cause events? Now, when we talk about short story, remember that this genre has the following elements. It is a work of fiction. It contains plot, character, setting, and theme. It is a popular format for horror stories. And if it is a horror story, it often includes supernatural elements. Now, one of the things we're going to focus on is foreshadowing. This occurs when a writer provides hints that suggest future events in a story. Writers use this technique to encourage readers to make predictions about what will happen next and add to suspense. Clues about future events may appear in the dialogue, which is the conversation between the characters. It also appears in descriptions of events and imagery. Remember that imagery are descriptive words and phrases that appeal to the 5 senses. Consider how the first example in the chart foreshadows events to come. As you read The Monkey's Paw, use the chart to note examples of dialogue, events, or imagery that foreshadows what will occur later in the story. So you have an example here. They give you a short dialogue. They want you to tell what the event is and what imagery is being used, as in what of the 5 senses are used during this dialogue. After that, I'd like you guys to work on your critical vocabulary. You know how it works. You choose one of the words to complete the sentence, or you use, in this case, we're using the vocabulary words in sentences, and you have to give an answer that reflects on the meaning of that sentence. So I have a short video prepared to show you guys about foreshadowing.
So, In a nutshell, foreshadowing is hinting at a future event in a novel or movie, usually. Now, this future event might be a positive one, like a marriage or a proposal, or it might be a negative one, a bad event that's about to happen. Authors or directors often use this to build tension. Good readers will notice that something is coming and try to think or predict about what it could be. Foreshadowing can also be used simply to entertain the audience and add another layer of the entertainment. Okay, so let's have a look at some foreshadowing examples. To start with, we'll be having a look at Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, written by J.K. Rowling. Now, this book begins with a passage like this. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect to be involved in anything strange or mysterious, because they just didn't hold with such nonsense. Now, this is foreshadowing that we can kind of get the hint that Mr. and Mrs. Dursley are about to be in for a surprise. Something strange or mysterious is going to happen in their life. So this foreshadowing example is adding to the entertainment of the novel. It's adding some interesting elements, and it's adding to the characterization of Mr. and Mrs. Dursley. So foreshadowing can happen at the beginning of a text, but it can also happen throughout and during the text. An example of this is Harry's scar. Throughout the series, Harry's scar starts hurting at different points, and it begins to foreshadow coming doom or something negative that's about to happen. One of the first times we experience this is the following quotation. It happened very suddenly. The hook-nosed teacher looked past Quirrell's turban, straight into Harry's eyes, and sharp, hot pain shot across the scar on Harry's forehead. So, now this is a different type of foreshadowing because it's more subtly hinting at what might be happening in the future. It's more subtle and it's kind of building tension throughout the novel. Okay, so J.K. Rowling does use a lot of foreshadowing in her novel, as do a lot of authors. So we're going to have a look at a second text that's called Runner and written by Robert Newton. And I really enjoy the foreshadowing in this because it's quite clear and explicit, but it doesn't really point out too much what is going to happen. That day, I recall, was the start of the rain. Overnight, the huge, menacing clouds thundered into town and set up camp above the city. In the morning, while my baby brother slept, Ma and I stood on the front porch, gazing up at the dirty black sky. Next door, too, our old neighbour, Cecil Redmond, had his eyes raised skyward. Now, I find this foreshadowing really beautiful to begin a novel with because it hints that something is about to happen. I really like the phrase that it was the start of the rain. This is the beginning of a new event, of a new chapter, of something happening, and the huge menacing clouds thundering in. I really like that the main character's baby brother is sleeping because the story doesn't really revolve around him. Conversely, Ma and I were standing there staring, and the novel does really centre around the main character, his mum, and a few other characters as well. So this is a good example of how a novel can begin with a really strong sense of foreshadowing. I hope that this video has helped you.
I also hope the same. So here were some examples of foreshadowing for you guys. I hope that cleared up the entire idea. So I can't wait to see your reaction after we've read The Monkey's Paw. See you guys later. Bye.